Vandeham Shri Guru Shyutapadakammalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagalita Shri Vishakanatamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Vasudev Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I'm extremely fortunate to be at your service. And it's absolutely an honor to know that there are so many wonderful young devotees who are chanting 16 rounds from different parts of UP. I'm sure Prabhupada will be very pleased. Talking about Prabhupada was an entrepreneur, as you all do. When I was starting my journey as an entrepreneur, it was kind of looked down upon. People thought I was greedy, materialistic, and all of those are true. I'm no pure devotee. Having said that, we are who we are, and we got to accept ourselves for who we are. And when you are ambitious and you want to do something much bigger, and you're not okay with the simple lifestyle, Krishna also has, inclusivity for people like us also. In fact, I wanted to be a brahmachari. Everything was saffron. I was like asking my Guru Maharaj about to be a brahmachari. And one day he just looked at me and said, brahmacharis don't start startups. And I was like, So basically, brahmacharis are people who are simple. They like simple life. They can sleep on the floor, and which I was doing for 3 months in the temple, and I burnt out. So I realized this is not for me. I am who I am, and Krishna accepts people like us also. In fact, Lord Nityananda is a shelter for the most fallen. So I'm not saying all of you are, but in case some of you want to join that bandwagon of being an entrepreneur and being Krishna conscious at the same time, rather being Krishna conscious entrepreneur, I'm going to share this. This is meant for a more secular audience, but as I speak, I'm going to go through the slides in a more devotional way since we are all family here. Screen visible? Can someone confirm? Okay, all right. So my journey started as an engineer at the Illinois Institute of Technology, building an automated robot. And I used my 4 years in college to my Krishna conscious journey also started at the same time, and my entrepreneur journey started at the same time. So if any of you are using Android phones, when you use the patent lock to log into your phone, that's my invention. So that I invented while I was at college, eventually sold it to Motorola. That part of Motorola got bought out by Google, and Google came out with Android phones, and now 1.3 billion people around the world are using the technology. And there are other things I have done that Prabhuji talked about. I'm going to brag about myself a little bit for the first 2 minutes so that you pay attention for the rest of the 2 hours. This is me at the CEO conference in Chicago, where people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates were sitting in the audience. And let me just turn off my phone. And literally it was worse than death to be speaking in front of such people. I was just a college kid, 19 years old at this time. And but I somehow did. I was the youngest CEO, and this is where my journey started. Then we won many competitions with the help of my friends in college. We were able to build businesses, just like we have Indian Idol here for music. In the US, there is Entrepreneur Idol, which we won nationally against Harvard and Columbia, New York University, all these big universities, Yale, right? And we got mentored by some of the best people, at that time, the chairman of Motorola, Nokia, people like that, right? Won competitions in MIT, in Northwestern, and many universities in US and Canada. And with that money, we started our business. And although we were in our late teens, early 20s, we were able to get a world-class team on board. So over here, you see the former CTO of Motorola, Chief Technology Officer of Motorola, former head of products for Wrigley. And, they were having their fantastic life, crores worth of package. And we were poor college students. But somehow one thing they didn't have was freedom. right? Freedom of choice. They were a small piece in a very large company. And here we were giving them an opportunity to be, in one sense, their own boss. So these are the businesses we built in US, Canada, Hong Kong, China, and finally in India. And then got honored by California State Senate for TED Talks. And eventually I came back to India and started Kolkata Ventures to fund startups in Kolkata, then West Bengal, then India. Now we're in 9 countries. And we have been incubating and creating jobs. So I'm one person that Mamta and Modi both like, because I create jobs and politicians care about jobs, right? This is at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, mentoring startups for Startup India. This is the Prime Minister of Nepal. You see Ritesh Agarwal and few other people. This guy, his wife is one of the sharks on Shark Tank, Sugar Cosmetics. This is Ritumari Entrepreneur Magazine. I'm a guest faculty at multiple universities, as you heard, India and US. I love teaching somehow. It comes from preaching, started with preaching, then got into teaching. Funding college students, so there's IIT Kharagpur and many other places, funding startups and all. I also help the government make policies so that your lives are a little better once you're out of college. I've been talked about in the media, and wherever I'm talked about, Krishna's name is also mentioned. So that's my impetus. Is my English hard to understand, or should I speak in Hindi?
No, but it's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
It's fine. If anybody has any questions and I said something you didn't understand, you can anonymously also ask me, okay? If you're embarrassed to ask me in public. So this is the crux of my life. My foundation is the Bhagavad Gita. I'm a devotee first, everything else later. So it's a great way to preach because I'm a spy. If Kushal Prabhuji were to go to any place, they would know he's a devotee, right? Looking at him, but looking at me, you can't tell I'm a devotee. So spies actually in wars make a very strong impact because they can go in to where soldiers can't. And that's my goal, is to be Krishna's spy and enter places wherever Lord Nityananda wanted us to go, whether it's at the bars or the casinos or the corporate cubicles, wherever these devotees are. And it's amazing, actually, throughout my journey, what kind of unlikely candidates the Jagais and Madhais of today, from their lives that they have to going to Vrindavan and going Govardhan Parikrama bare feet. It's unthinkable. So I preach to CEOs, the best and the brightest people. And when they become devotees, as Krishna says, yad yad acharati shrestha, tat tat eva tarojanaha. So as they become devotees, their family become devotees, their employees become devotees, and the whole company becomes a Krishna conscious company. And that is, I feel, a very strong way to influence a lot of people in one go. So that's my goal, is being preacher to the influencers, influential, not influencers who dance and sing, but influencers who actually build the business, build the country, people like that. So starting from zero, right? These are some things I'm going to discuss today. How do you start from zero money? Let's say everybody doesn't have the capital. So we're going to talk very basics. So solve a dire problem. That means a problematic enough problem. We'll drive efficiency. We'll talk about the currency of relationships and the minimum viable product. Anybody heard of lean startup methodology? If you have not, it's the science of building startups that have come from Stanford University after researching 12,000 plus successful startups. And there is a proper methodology. So I'm going to talk from Bhagavad Gita as well as lean startup methodology as we go through this presentation. You are welcome to take screenshots or notes. I will not be sharing the slides with you. So just be aware. So pay attention and take notes or screenshots wherever you feel appropriate. Let's talk about problem. From a Vedic perspective, a problem is something that no one wants, but everyone has to face it and no one can avoid it. So all of you who have taken DYS, Discover Yourself course, you know those problems. Is this supposed to be a one-way conversation, or can I have some interaction with all of you? Is it okay, Kushal Prabhu?
Yes, coach, you can have.
Okay. So can any brave soul tell me what are some problems that no one can avoid, everyone has to face?
But
And no
old
one
age, death, and disease. Birth, old age, death, and disease.
Very good. Birth, death, old age, disease, right? And these are all money makers, right? They're all money makers. So the birthing process, starting from inception to the 9 months pregnancy to birth, huge money, right? Uh, Old age, obviously, everybody wants to be young. People are doing blood transfusion, and there are all kinds of things are there to stay young as much as possible. Fair and Lovely, cosmetics, Botox, you name it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You talk about pharmaceuticals, when there is disease, people are willing to pay any amount. They're willing to sell their house to pay for a cure for cancer or cure for any disease that they have. So birth, death, old age, disease. Death, obviously, also is a big money maker. In India, it's not so much yet, but in America, on average, $10,000 on average. So for the coffin, to the wake, to burial, to the headstone, to all the feeding the people. Some people throw party at their death funerals. All of that is coming to India also. So death is a huge industry. So basically, birth, death, old age, disease. If you can solve any of those problems, you can make a lot of money. Most importantly, find a problem that's problematic. Like Ola and Uber. What did they solve? Transportation problem, communication problem, right? Management problem. So Zoom became a huge success during the pandemic because when people were not able to go to office, communicate in person, Zoom became the medium and it skyrocketed like anything. Paytm became super hit when Modi declared currency that all the 1,000 rupee notes or whatever would be, demonetization happened. So when there's a problem, somebody provides a solution, there is a lot of money to be made. Now, let's be futuristic, right? One thing to understand about the future is history repeats itself, right? What has happened in the past will repeat. Today we are in Kali Yuga, Satyuga will come, again Kali Yuga will come. So repeats happen, Krishna keeps coming. So time is cyclical, day and night. Same way when we look at history repeats itself. I was recently spending a weekend with the Prime Minister's economic advisor, Sanjeev Sanyal. And Sanjeev Sanyal was in charge of the COVID vaccination process. So I was asking him, how did you prepare for it? What rule book did you follow? He said, history repeats itself. We saw 100 years ago when there was pandemic, what happened? What were the trends? What were some things? And we tried to kind of predict what could happen. And based on that, we set our path going forward. So history repeats itself. When you want to predict the future, you look at the past. Now, let's look at the past. What happened? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, we were writing in papyrus leaves. When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came, we were able to create the Brihat Mridanga, which is printing press. When Srila Prabhupada came, he had the dictaphone and he had fax and phone. So use that to preach. But in all of these things, although things are getting more and more efficient, the idea is broadcast, right? Now, if we look 100 years ago, when India was going through, not India, the world was going through industrial revolution, right? What happened as a result of industrial revolution, things became more efficient. With efficiency, what happened? People had more time to enjoy themselves. What came out as a result of enjoyment? TV media, radio media, right? People were able to spend more time for entertainment. Today, what is happening? Because of all the efficiency, ChatGPT is doing all your homework for you, project work for you. So with the extra time, what do? You watch reels and shorts, right? So more entertainment is happening. So people are spending on average 4 to 8 hours a day on Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. So what do we understand from it? Back in the days, entertainment was something else. Today, entertainment is something else. But regardless, what has not changed is when we have more time, we entertain ourselves. As devotees, many devotees are doing what? Using entertainment as a medium for preaching, for getting into the hearts of those who are seeking Krishna. So as a business also, when we understand what is it that the future holds for us, efficiency, very good. More time for enjoyment, very good. Then what happens? Sense gratification. Okay. And as devotees, there are certain things we can't do, certain businesses we can't do, and there are certain businesses we can do, right? What is going to happen? People are going to be more lonely. There's a hookup on Tinder or Bumble or whatever dating apps one might use. But what are they not getting? Satisfaction of the heart. People are not marrying. They don't want children. They're adopting puppies and kittens. So as a result, what's happening? The pet industry is growing massively, right? So when you understand what is going to be the future, lonely people, highly digital people, but very sad people. And as devotees, we have a monopoly on happiness. There is nobody who can give more happiness than devotees. So that's our strength, that we know the secret to being happy. As that now, how do you use technology or whatever else to build your business is up to you. But history repeats itself. So what do? You observe, you analyze, and you predict. People are not getting married. People are not happy. People are depressed. Suicides are happening in jobs, you know. So men are 60% more likely to commit suicide than women. In college, at least 75% of people, at least once, think seriously about killing themselves. Birth, death, old age, disease. We have a problem to solve. So when you solve a problem, you make money. Okay. Now, you have to be efficient as you build your business, because we don't come from Ambani's family. So we don't have a lot of money. We come from Krishna's family. But Krishna makes us work a little harder, before we get what we deserve. So be efficient. A level of what is efficiency? You're all engineers, right? A level of performance that describes a process that uses the lowest amount of inputs to create the greatest amount of output. Now, let me explain this. If you are a freelancer, what happens? You make a lot of, you do a lot of work, but it's you. And when it's you alone, you make only as much money as time permits. In 24 hours a day, you can work probably 8, 10, 12 hours maximum. And that's it. If you are an entrepreneur, what do? The efficient way of doing it is making other people work. So like Srila Prabhupada. What did Srila Prabhupada do? As a devotee, if Srila Prabhupada's one-man show, he would have been able to, okay, maybe do New York City. But he created leaders. And he said, go to Japan, create a temple there. Go to Philippines, create a temple there. Go to UK, create a temple there. So he empowered devotees, gave them the training and the knowledge to go and replicate what Srila Prabhupada was doing. That is how you scale up something, right? That's how you scale up a business. You build a team of managers, you build a co-founding team, and together you delegate. You don't hold on to everything yourself. Like, my business, I will not let anyone. The more people you have, the more money you make, because they make money for you, they make money for themselves, right? So as an entrepreneur, first thing is about being efficient. That means team, build a team. It's all about the people that you have, smart people who are just like you, right? Together is better than one. Or in devotional terms, growing together is better than growing alone. Please understand that. Here, this graphic will help you understand. We might be small, but when we are together, we can take on big sharks very, very well. Unity is our strength. So as devotees, this is true. As entrepreneur also, this is extremely true. Anybody having any questions so far? Is it clear as I'm going through this? Yes? Okay. Heads are nodding. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Perfect. Now, power of networking in a gift economy. What does that mean? It's all about who you know. Have you seen, where people say, "Pata hai mera papa kaun hai? Pata hai mera chacha kaun hai?" That's the reality. Now, what do we say? Pata hai mera baap kaun hai? Krishna. Aham bija pradapitaha, seed giving father. That's how at least I talk to myself. There are many times I am in these situations where people are very intelligent and I am a unpar gawar. So I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So what time happened? I was in Delhi. It was a very large convention, 1,500 people from 50 countries. So they asked me to talk about entrepreneurship. I can talk about entrepreneurship, no problem. And this was 2017 when Bitcoins were rising, cryptocurrency. India didn't know whether to ban it or not. And at that point, they had the same event, they had a cryptocurrency lineup. And they said, "Sir, one speaker is missing. Will you please speak on his behalf?" I'm like, "No, I don't know anything about this. I will not speak. It's not my area of expertise." They said, "Sir, please save us. You have to speak. I'm like, okay, who are the co-panelists? And these are all PhDs from Germany, from Australia, from Japan, they're the best of the best brains. I go to the green room, they're all looking at me. They all know each other because they're the best. They're like, who's this guy? I'm like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Avelo Roy. Oh, we've never heard of you. What do you do? I'm managing director of Kolkata Ventures. I'm a venture capitalist. Okay. And they were like, haha, look at him, look at him. We are special. So I was like, oh, yeah. So then going on stage, they're mentioning all the bios of all these great speakers, right? And I'm hearing it and I'm like, Hare Krishna, what am I going to do? It's going to be such a comedy show for me. I can't, I don't know what to speak. So I looked at the stage, I made it into an altar, right? In my mind. And I was like, okay, Radha and Krishna is there. Krishna says he's my father and all knowledge comes from Krishna. Said, my Lord, if you so desire, you can make me look like a fool, make me dance, as you see, or you can give me some intelligence so I can say something that's valuable for the audience, as you see fit. I got on the stage, all these great speakers are speaking, and whenever it came to me, they asked some questions, and I'm not such an erudite scholar, so I'm speaking in simple language. And people clapped and everything. I got off the stage, and everybody was clamoring around me. And all these big scientists are standing there. It's like, why are nobody coming to us? Because they're speaking in such high level, people are not able to understand. What I spoke was so simple because I'm stupid and audience is also stupid. So whatever I spoke, they understood and they were asking for my card and they were talking to me and taking selfies with me. And it turned out to be, so for me also, when I go to places where this is a situation, I go in Draupadi mode. Govinda, help. You know, and that's my life, to be honest. Every time there is a service in ISKCON, I am given the service that I'm not capable of doing, right? At any stage of my life. When I was your age, my mentor, who was a temple president, he told me, Ajita, Guru Maharaj is going to do a Vyasa Puja where devotees from all over the world, Prabhupada disciples are going to come. You make sure the entire temple has internet connection. And this was before 4G existed. And I was like, Prabhuji, I don't know how to. And not only that, there was VoIP system, voice over IP. I had to figure out how to configure all the phones of the temple. I was like, this is in 13 hours. So I was literally praying. I was calling Cisco. I'm calling everyone possible. Nothing is happening. So finally, I told my mentor, Prabhuji, this is not something I can do. You have so many big, engineers who can do this. It's like, Ajita, I'm begging you, please make it happen. There's no one else. Everybody's busy. I tell you, I took the temple phone, the VoIP phone to my house, connected to my modem. And at night till midnight, I'm working on it. Nothing is happening. 5 o'clock in the morning. So before going to bed, I prayed this. So my dear Krishna, if you so desire, please allow me to serve the Vaishnavas. I have no intelligence. I have no brains. You are the source of everything. If you so desire, please help me. You won't believe me. 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, I pounced out of bed with inspiration. I went to my phone, did some configuration, called my mentor's number, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, Prabhuji, this is the temple phone number. It's working from my modem. Like, Haribol. And then, Maharaj, all these Vyasa Puja happening and Prabhupada disciples from all over the world, seamlessly connected and perfectly the whole Vyasa Puja went. And our temple was not embarrassed, right? So like that, every service, lawsuit, this, that, like I'm given the most services. Somehow Krishna purifies, so I don't get proud. So every time I'm like smashed, like I have no idea how to do this. And then Govinda, please help. So Draupadi mode is our way of survival. So if you want surrenderance to Krishna, start a business. It's good for your devotional life. Because normally jobs mein kya hota hai? You will get your salary. No problem. If you don't do something too bad, you will get your salary, you'll get your increment and everything. In business, what happens? You don't know if you will make it or not. You might even get salary to your employees. Sometimes the owner doesn't get paid. It happens. And what do you do? How do you run your company and your family and everything? Govinda, help. It's a roller coaster ride. So those of you want a happy life, a simple life, please don't be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur's life is a roller coaster ride, right? But it's a life of surrender also, because you know for a fact you are not capable. Krishna is managing everything. And if he so desires, he will save you. And Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe. So unity is the strength. You unite with Krishna and his devotees, that's a true strength, right? And then we can face any Tom, Dick, and Harry of this world. No one stands a chance in front of devotees. I'll tell you what a third company I sold. This was basically a healthcare billing automation company, right? So basically, in the US, you go to the doctor's clinic, you get some tests done and whatnot. It goes to the billing department. The billing department goes to the insurance. Insurance pays the doctor. So we automated. We were given a project to automate this billing system. So we were told, the more people you help us hire, the more money we'll give you. And it was a multi-million-dollar project over 2.5 years that we had to do. This company had some hundreds and hundreds of employees. We literally got them, 90% of them fired. 90% of the employees got replaced with my automation tool. What humans would do in 7 days, my software does in 1/6 of a second. And there's no salary, no training, no bonuses, no vacations, no weekends. That means company saves tremendous amount of money. The biggest cost of running a company is salaries, right? Now, when I replace 90% of your employees with my software, of course, they're paying me, let's say, a few $1 million, but they're making hundreds of millions of dollars as a result, because they're able to get rid of so many employees. Now, today, automation sounds like, ChatGPT, AI automation, but this is way before that. So it was something that we got sold, we sold that company because they were like so happy. Now, what you have to ask me is 90% of the people got fired. Who are the 10% who didn't get fired? And that's where the business opportunity lies, right? The 10% are people who are the relationship managers with the doctors. That means the doctor sees you and sees, this person is nice. And they stay with the company because they like you, right? That, para prakriti, apara prakriti, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. We are superior nature, and no matter how much intelligent AI becomes, it's inferior nature. So what a human can do, the human trust, the human relationship, the human connection, soul to soul connection, that cannot be compared with anything. And that's where we thrive as devotees. Personalism comes in, impersonalism defeated, right? Personalism is important for trust and relationship. And if you see anything, anywhere, mera papa kaun hai, mera, chacha kaun hai, that is basically about relationship. You know someone, things are easier. It is not just India. It is China, it is US, it is Germany. Everywhere you go, it's all about who you know, and doors open up. I was fortunate to know or be mentored by Obama's chief technology officer, Harper. Now, in the recession, 2008, 2009, when all economy was bad, we just graduated from college and decided not to take a job, but to continue with our business. So I asked my mentor, I don't think we can raise money and we should just quit. My mentor said, not yet. You've not tried hard enough. I'm like, Prabhuji, 300 rejections. He's like, you've not tried hard enough. I will tell you when to stop. This is a devotee speaking, by the way. This is a temple president. There's a fantastic, devotee. And then we continued forward. I tell you, within a month, we're meeting one of the biggest investors of Chicago. And Harper is on the other side. We didn't know Harper was behind the scenes. And he's like, we pitch, the investors are very happy. They're like, okay, how much do you need? Generally, people are like, jao, we're not investing. These guys are like, how much you need? So we were not answering the question. And Harper's like, Avelo, effing answer the question. How much money do you need? Literally use the F word. I was like, we need X. And the investor said, we'll invest 2X. And me and my best friend, his name is now Ishodanandana, his name was Edward. So Ishodanandana and I looking at each other. We're like, nah. Until it happened, we won't believe it. They said, give us 21 days. We'll do due diligence on you. And money will be in your account. And we're like, when it happens, we'll believe it. Because we've been rejected so many times. It's like gone. All faith is gone. And to survive at this point, we were selling cheese biscuits on the streets of Chicago. Well, you've seen the feriwalas, it's like a modified version of that. So generally on Sundays, there are these tents, there are farmers market. Farmers from Michigan, Iowa, Ohio, they come and they sell in Chicago. Their fruits, their jams, their jellies. And we made this cheese biscuits, Prashadam cheese biscuits that we would offer to Shishi Kishore Kishori in our temple. On Saturdays, we would bake. On Sundays, we would sell. make 600% profit on that. And that's how we were surviving, right? And running our business, paying our employees and everything through one business and funding another business, and complete dependence on Krishna. My mother was like, Sarojini Naidu's great grandson is on the streets of Chicago, selling cheese biscuits. Ye din bhi dekhna tha mujhe. So it's like horrible from all angles. We were like being hit. And on top of that, anyway, there's a lot of struggle story that I'm not going to talk about. We'll talk about focus on entrepreneurship. So, long story short, within 21 days, the money came. They called us up and said, we have done the due diligence. Seems like you guys have a great technology, great business. We are willing to invest, double the money. And life changed from there on. We were actually Shishikishore Kishore temple. Still remember, behind the temple, there's a parking lot. After baking the cheese biscuits, Yashodananda and I would take a little, 15-minute nap. So we were literally just lying at the nap and the phone came that we've doubled the investment and, sign the document and take the money. We ran to enter the temple. And somehow my mentor, Nityananda Prabhu, was leaving his car to go back to the temple for something. And we hugged him from both sides, me from front, Ishanandan from back. Like, we got the funding. And that was it. From there on, there was no looking back. We grew and grew one after another business, 8 businesses, 3 exits, and by God's grace, now I invest and we go forward. So the point is that we are small, Krishna is big. I'll share something devotional here. This is the first round of funding. When we're doing the second round of funding, because you're all devotees, this is important to know how to prioritize Krishna. Second round of funding, as it was happening, now the investors and we were having disagreements. They were like, if you don't do it our way, we will not fund you. And we were like, we can't do it your way because it's bad for the business. And the day we were going for this meeting, the very important meeting, we had not finished our rounds, our 16 rounds. 4 rounds were remaining. Me and Yashodanandan said, we'll finish our 4 rounds and then go to the meeting. In the US, you don't go late. When President Obama and us, we would meet, if the meeting was at 8 o'clock, Obama would come at 7:45. We would come at 7:30. If you're on time, you're late. That's America. Here, we saw 4 rounds, half an hour it takes, right? So we would be 10 minutes late if we were to finish our 16 rounds. But we decided that we'll finish our rounds and then go to the meeting because this is a very crucial meeting and we want to make sure we prioritize Krishna first. I tell you, we finished 4 rounds at a normal pace. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. We looked at the watch. It was 20 minutes. We were perfectly on time. There was no delay. We would not be late. He and I just looked at each other, couldn't even speak. We had heard in lectures, time is Krishna's energy. We had never experienced it. Krishna literally expanded time for us. We finished our rounds. We went to the meeting. And this is the time when my best friend was still atheistic, but he was like, okay, he would chant, I also chant. But he was atheistic. And I'm thinking, what would happen? What would happen? We would get the funding or not. And he's like, don't you say that everything comes from Krishna? Lakshmi Devi is Krishna's energy. So why are we worrying about the investors? Money will come this way or that way. Like, Hare Krishna, this guy is more of a devotee than I am. Although borderline atheist. And literally with that confidence, I needed to hear that. With that confidence, we went into the meeting. We were polite, but we argued. We stood our ground, came to a middle ground, and we closed the negotiation, got the funding, and life moved on. So point is, it's very important to understand, to prioritize Krishna and all these, right? The gift economy, the Vaishnavas, the devotees, are very, very important. We should not deprioritize that. When you prioritize Krishna, automatic material energy is very much sponge-like. Krishna can change anything for us. It's not just for Drishtadyumna or Arjuna or whatever. Krishna does it for us also, day-to-day basis. You ask any devotee, it's happening. Okay, coming back to efficiency. So basically, no salary, nothing, and they make money and they bought out our company, and we realized something, that the 10% of the employees, that's personalism. And that's where humans are meant to be humans. Rest, AI automation can take care of, right? Now, what kind of businesses exist? One is product company, where you manufacture one, you sell one. You make one, you sell one. Service company, let's say a chartered accountant firm, law firm, design firm, digital marketing firm. You have a lot of people, and based on the number of people, you can sell services based on how many people do things and whatnot. Then comes software company. You make one app and you can sell it a billion times, right? And the most efficient is platform as a service. That is Amazon. You make a platform. People come and sell. People come and buy. And for every transaction that happens, you make a cut. Like Amazon gets some 20, 30% for everything that is sold on Amazon. So platform as a service. So these are the different businesses that we can make money from, different platforms. Now, comes back to efficiency. We all have gifts from Krishna, right? And based on that gift, you focus on what you can do best. And for the rest, you delegate. You find team members, you find friends who can do it better than you, right? Rather than learning how to code, learning how to do this, learning how to do that, you find somebody who already knows how to code, who already knows the things that you don't know. What does Krishna say? Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Whatever you lack, I sustain. Whatever you have, I sustain. Whatever you lack, I carry. Vahami aham, right? So you see Radha and Krishna over here. So this is how my consciousness is. They're the bosses. I'm their employee, right? They own the company. The Marwadis think like this. They think 1% for Ganesha and 99% for me. We are devotees. So for us, everything is Krishna. So Krishna is the boss. I'm his employee. And with that mindset, we do business. We treat others. So the first delegation is let Krishna be in charge. That's number one. We being the servant. Number two is now find team. People who have the skills you don't have, people who have the qualities that match with your quality. Because sometimes skilled people are very arrogant, right? You have to have the skill and quality matching. So it's like marriage in one sense, because you spend more time with your business partner than with your wife or girlfriend. So find business partners, find co-founders who you match with. Even if they're not the smartest, you will enjoy suffering together. Misery likes company. Building a business is a lot of suffering. So being a brahmachari is also a lot of suffering. Ask Prabhuji, he'll tell you. But when you have friends, suffering together is better than suffering alone. Winning together is also better than winning alone, right? So it's important that we understand building a team is the most fundamental need of a business. Here's what's happening. If you're a freelancer, you're one person. It's only your time and that's it. Whatever time you give, if you get sick, you don't make money. If you take a day off, you don't make money. But in business, when you have a team, whether you're working or not, you're making money. I'm talking to you, I'm preaching to you, but my team is getting work done, right? I have to only oversee certain things. Srila Prabhupada left this planet, ISKCON is going on. Not only ISKCON is going on, ISKCON is growing, right? It has grown so many times. 108 temples Prabhupada created. We have 750 plus temples all over the world, right? So that's called scalability. So team is very important. And qualities and skills are something you should look for. First was problem. Second is team. 3 is driving efficiency. Okay. I've been asked, Prabhuji, if you are sharing screen, if it's not visible, I'm not sharing screen. I'm talking to you. In countries like Japan and Korea, people don't want to marry. Population is high and want to be financially independent. Yes. Is that a question? Birth, death, old age, disease. Okay. I have been waiting to hear from you since last 3 years. Ideal. You're very kind. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, delegation. Now, goal. So you have to have a financial goal in mind. It's not okay to say, nice car, nice house, nice this, nice that. No, very clearly, first of all, decide your personal goal. What kind of life do you want to live, right? See, in ISKCON, we have been able to build a society of very middle-class software engineers, especially in the West. All Indian software engineers, right? Whether they're IIT or not, doesn't matter. They're all very middle class. If they give money for Janmashtami, they have no money left for Radhashtami, right? If they give money for Rath Yatra, Prabhuji gave so much donation for Rath Yatra, now nothing left for. So we need to fuel Grihasthas, need to fuel ISKCON. That's our role, right? Prabhupada's time, 95% were brahmacharis and sannyasis, 5% grihasthas. Today, 95% is grihasthas, 5% brahmacharis. So brahmacharis with book distribution can't fuel ISKCON. The ones who are earning have to fuel ISKCON. And to fuel ISKCON, Lakshmi Devi has to be very kind to us. And that's where entrepreneurs come in, right? As entrepreneurs, financial freedom is what? When we don't have to look at the check and we can swipe our card, right? That's financial freedom. Now, from a materialistic perspective, you go, your wife asks for something, or you go to a restaurant and you swipe a card. For devotee perspective, when the temple needs something, we are there to support the temple. When a base needs something, you graduated from base, you're there to support the base. That's how we fuel our growth. Otherwise, the other Abrahamic faiths, all these other religions, they have so much money flowing in, billions and billions of dollars. Our GBC's entire annual budget is $140,000. That's it. Small, tiny Christian organization called the not Jesuits, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Their budget is $60 billion per year. ISKCON, $150,000. So we need to really have a lot of entrepreneurs to fuel the kind of growth that will make every town and village possible. পৃথিবীতে আছে যত নগরাদি গ্রাম, সর্বত্র প্রচার হইবে মোর নাম. We have to make that true. So that's why I am here with you today. I charge a lot of money to corporates to give these lectures. I'm doing this for you. Why? This is my service. This is my life's mission, to create more devotee entrepreneurs so we can support, Srila Prabhupada's mission in our little capacity. So have a target goal, have a clarity, how much you want to earn, what kind of lifestyle you want, how much you want to donate to ISKCON, what projects you have, what is your life's mission. Then you decide for a new business, what kind of goal can you set for the next 12 months? Break it down. How many products do you have to sell? At what price to reach that goal? Break it down further. If it is a subscription business, how much per month in 12 months to how many people to reach that goal? You get the point. You have to break it down, plan it out, week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter to reach that $1 million goal or the $1 billion goal or whatever that goal is, right? But that's how you should think. Don't think someday. Someday never comes. Don't think nice. Nice is not defined. Define your goal, define your dream, put a number to it, and back calculate. That's how you reach your goal. Otherwise, your dreams will never come true. Srila Prabhupada, when he was sitting in a park, you know that story? He was asked, how many disciples you have? How many temples you have? Do you know the story? No? Srila Prabhupada was sitting in a park. This was early days of ISKCON. He barely had a few disciples, not even disciples, they were just hippies. And this bus conductor, he was sitting next to Prabhupada. And seeing Prabhupada's dress, he said, you seem like a monk or something. Prabhupada said, yes. He said, oh, so if you're a monk, what's your credentials? What kind of, how many disciples do you have and all? He said, I have 10,000 disciples. I have 108 temples around the world. And at that time, Prabhupada had nothing. He had one storefront with, which if you have been to New York, you will see it's like literally 12 feet by 20 feet kind of a storefront, very small. But Prabhupada knew exactly where he was going. 10,000 disciples happened in a matter of 12 years. 108 temples happened in a matter of 12 years. Before Srila Prabhupada came with 40 rupees. When he left this planet, there were $400 million worth of temples around the world in ISKCON. Prabhupada knew his numbers. He had the vision and he executed on that vision. He knew he couldn't afford to sleep more than 2 hours a day if he had to accomplish this life's mission. And he did that, translating so many books, doing all the things that he did, right? If you guys have not read the Lilamrita, please read the Lilamrita before you start your business. That will inspire like anything. Because what Srila Prabhupada did, he is our idol. Our idol is not anyone else. We don't have to look at Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or this, that. Srila Prabhupada is our idol. He was successful in making ISKCON happen. So follow his footsteps, you will also be successful. So numbers, you must know your numbers. You must know your goal. You must know how rich you want to be. Based on this, you create a structure for your company. What kind of activities would happen in your company according to what kind of roles are required. Now, in a startup, you can't afford so many people. So what ends up happening is, let's say a CTO will be the tech developer, will be the QA testing guy only. So doing 3 people's job in one. But when you're planning your business, you must have the roles clearly defined. It might be one Maharathi doing 10 people's job, but the roles should be clear that these are the things you need to do, right? Only then you can hire someone. When you know what you're looking for, you can find it. For example, if you're a devotee, the same flower you would look at and think about your girlfriend, now you look at the same flower and you think, oh, it would look so nice in Krishna's lotus feet, right? And then after offering to Krishna, you can give it to your girlfriend. But you get the point. That the way we look at, how we look at the world, Shastra Chakshu, we look through the eyes of scriptures, right? We see it very differently than materialistic people see. Ravana saw Sita Devi, for my enjoyment. That's how materialistic people see. That everything in there is for my enjoyment. As devotees, how do we see? Everything is for service to Krishna. So we need to train our mind in such a way that we see what we want to see. So when you have the team figured out, I need a CTO who's good with Android and iOS. I need a UI UX developer. I need a accountant who's good with Tally. Then when you're talking to people, hearing things, you are scanning constantly. Your brain is scanning constantly. This is a person. Oh, did you say Tally? You know someone who's good at Tally? I need to talk to them and to get them on board, right? Oh, you know somebody who knows how to use this tool, the software? Oh, you know WordPress? Fantastic. Can you come on board? Be my co-founder. Unless you know what you want, you won't be able to get people on board, right? Same way as devotees and preaching, same thing happens. Somehow or other, when I go to Western countries, somehow or other, this is my karma. I have somebody sitting next to me who's from another religion and who will ask me questions, try to convert me. People try to convert me like anything. I don't know why. What is on my face? So I'll chant Hare Krishna. They'll be like, oh, you're a Buddhist. I'm like, no, I'm a Hare Krishna. Okay, so you believe in many gods? And then I'll be like dropping my beat. I am kind of a feisty person. My Guru Maharaj says I have a combination of Kshatriya Vaishya mix. The Kshatriya in me comes out. I'll have to kind of defeat them, decimate them. Then I can chant, nicely for the next 6 hours of my journey. So this keeps happening. Now, point is that person now starts questioning their faith, and they have some respect for the Sanatana Dharma. And people around might be asking me questions. Oh, how does this work? Oh, I heard you say this, and it becomes preaching. Anyway, don't do it unless you're, in that position. Don't argue and debate with people of other religions. Waste of time. Anyway, so point I'm trying to get across here is, when you scan the world for devotees, you make devotees. You find people to distribute books to. Same way, when you scan the world for team members, you can look at the skills and you can find the right people, friend of a friend, cousin, alumni, whoever it is, you can find them. You want a mentor, you can find them when you're looking for it. If you're not looking for it, you cannot find them. So get to know what you need, how much money you have to make, how many products you have to sell, what subscriptions you have to earn from. To make that happen, what kind of team you need. And based on that team, who can you pay? How much can you pay? If you cannot pay, what favors can you do? How can you pitch to them so they see your vision, they see your dream, and they align with your dream, right? Suffering together to accomplish a dream. There is a Steve Jobs quote I'm going to share with you. When he went, he wanted a CEO because Apple was growing and Steve Jobs didn't want to be the one running the company. He doesn't know how to run a big company. He knows how to build a startup. Startup entrepreneurs generally are not good at being CEOs. You see, Google, Sergey Brin, Larry Page started it, but it's run by Pichai, before that Eric Schmidt. Same way, Steve Jobs was looking for a CEO to run his company. That time he heard about Jim Scully, who was running Pepsi or Coca-Cola, I forget. So he went up to Jim Scully, talked to him. Jim Scully's like, I am Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever, and you are a startup. And Steve Jobs said, so you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? or do you want to make a dent in the universe by being CEO of Apple? And he was like, who is this guy? How dare he talks to me like that? And he left his company and joined Apple. And he was the one who got Steve Jobs fired also. So the point is, Steve Jobs was able to, if you were to patronize him, this guy wouldn't come. But he insulted him in one sense. Now, don't do it, please. Do not do it. But the way he manipulated him, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, calling Pepsi and Coca-Cola sugar water? Or do you want to make a dent in the universe by joining Apple, a revolution? That's how he got this guy on board. So if you have that ability, you'll be able to pull in very powerful people to mentor you, to guide you, to join your team and bring them on board. Salesmanship, leadership, right? Srila Prabhupada got thousands and thousands of book distributors to distribute books for him. Through one mission, he was not paying them. When Prabhupada left this planet, Giriraj Maharaj wrote a very beautiful poetry that I can't verbatim tell you, but basically he says, Krishna's name is Yogeshwar, right? He can do miracles. And Srila Prabhupada did such amazing miracles where without paying, he had a whole salesman, sales force to distribute books. From that, establishing temples. To that, converting lectures and yavanas into Vaishnavas, right? Miracle. All of this is a miracle. So that's our legacy. That's our grandfather, Srila Prabhupada. Now that you know who you want to hire, you want to get on board, understand that you don't have the money or the resources to do all the things you want to do. So Lakshmi Devi has many names. Money comes in the form of cash, credit, favors, and freebies, right? Cash and credit is easy. You can understand. Let me explain the credit part because you guys are not as materialistic as me. So for example, you have a credit card. You have 1 lakh rupee credit on the credit card. So, and you want to do a simple business, let's say t-shirt printing, right? You have a college fest or something, you want to do t-shirt printing. So what can you do? Let's say each t-shirt costs you 200 rupees, right? And you print 100 t-shirts. So 100 t-shirts multiplied by 200, how much is it? 20,000 rupees, right? I want you to interact with me. You're all engineers, okay. So 20,000 rupees, you got your t-shirt made. Now what do? You sell it for, let's say, each t-shirt for 400. So 40,000 rupees you made. Now, within 1 month, if you pay off the credit card company, what happens? No interest to be paid. So you use the credit card to pay for manufacturing or printing the t-shirts. You sell the t-shirts using social media or Amazon or Myntra or whatever else, and you just made a profit of 20,000 rupees. Did you put any of your own money? No. Is it zero money? Yes. And there's manufacturing. This is real stuff. What to speak of things that are not real, virtual. Virtual money can be made like that. Business to business on LinkedIn, business to consumer on Instagram and Facebook, right? So virtual is what? You're astrologer. You want to sell astrology services on consulting on Zoom. You can sell it through, get people on board through your system on Instagram or Facebook, get them to your website, get them to pay, schedule an appointment, come on Zoom, and you give them astrology services. You give them numerology services. You give them digital marketing services. You give them whatever service. Services are zero budget. And with physical things, yes, money is required, and you can get that money for free from credit card. So credit, cash, credit, favor. I'll give you an example of favor. When I was filing for my patent, I was just about to graduate from college. And my patent attorney came and said, well, $18,000 you have to pay the legal fees and the government fees all put together to file for patent in US, UK, and Japan. I said, John, I don't have the money. I have to graduate, I have to take exams. I don't know what to do. He said, well, you have 7 days. That's it. Within that 1 year period would be over and you will not be able to file a patent after that. I said, John, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the money for it. He said, well, fine. I will put in the money. You pay me back whenever you can pay. All you have to do is sit down with me. We'll look at the TV. We'll go through each clause of the patent one by one. You tell me where I'm going wrong. You get it right, we'll file it. We went through that, filed the patent, took my exams, graduated from college. And after 10 months, we finally got funded. Then we finally were able to pay our patent attorney, right? But I was grateful that for 10 months he waited. He could have never gotten paid if our company didn't succeed, right? And he took that risk. So in return, what did I do? Anytime anybody would say patent, trademark, anything with intellectual property, I would say, John Ambrogi, go to this guy. He's great. For the next several years, I gave him $500,000 worth of clients. That's how the currency of relationship worked, right? I was broken. I didn't have money. He took a risk on me. He helped me. And out of gratitude, not only did I pay him back for the several years, I kept on sending him referrals. What goes around comes around. So it's very important to understand these principles in business. This happens all the time where you do favors and you get favors. So favors actually save you money. Another favor I'll tell you, you talked about Harper, Obama's CTO. So we were, this is before AWS existed. There was something called Rackspace. Very expensive, but the best service in America. And we were not able to afford it. So I asked Harper, is there a way they can give some discounts to startups? Harper immediately called up the owner of Rackspace. And he said, hey, I have this guy named Avelo Roy. For the next 6 months, can you give him free access? And after that, he can pay. And the owner of Rackspace said, very well, use this promo code and you have free access to service for the next 6 months. And that was worth, it was like some $5,000 or something, but it was cash that I didn't have money to pay, but through a favor, I was able to get it done. I'm getting the same output. So the focus is what? The focus is paisa, paisa, paisa. No, the focus is what do I want to achieve? If you want an iPhone, right? You can get it by paying 1.5 lakhs. You can get it as a gift. You can get it as a payment for some work that you do. It can be a favor. It can be anything. The point is getting the phone. So where do we get stuck up? The middle class mentality is paisa nahi hai, kaise hoga, right? Money is not there. How will it happen? मैं तो middle class family से हूँ. Focus on what you have. You have Krishna on your side. That's a big advantage. You have your brains. You have some ability, and you know where you're going, the goal that you want to accomplish, right? So initially, my team were working for no money, no salaries. It was purely based on the promise of equity. That means part ownership in my company. And based on that, they were working for a goal that might not happen. But the idea was it's on us to make it a reality, a success. And based on that, they worked day and night without any salary to make the dream come true. So everybody can get wealthy together, right? That's the idea here. So focus on the goal rather than money. Now, there are companies like Amazon Web Services, IBM, Google, Microsoft, HubSpot, Paytm that give more than 35 lakhs worth of free services to startups. If you're registered as an incubator, you get access to all these freebies that can help you enhance your business. It's the money. You're looking for money. Here you got free services that allows you to accomplish what you want to accomplish without paying the money. So understand Lakshmi Devi has many names. You have to be intelligent how you resource yourself. Okay, relationships. This is one of the most crucial things. Relationship means people that trust you. It's not just blood relations, people that trust you. So build such a character that people can trust you with their time, with their money, with their resources. When that happens, right? Not only you, the happiness that we have is through relationships. But progress also happens because of these relationships. The 80-year-old happiness study in Harvard, you guys might be knowing about this, that there was a study done on what makes people happy. 3 generations of scientists did the study from infants to all the way till these infants become 80 years old. 3 generations of scientists. And they found that close relationships, more than money or fame, are what keep people happy throughout their lives. These ties protect people from life's discontent, help to delay mental and physical decline. When you're happy, you perform better. When you're happy, you are actually more productive. Your prefrontal cortex opens up and you can think better. It's not like one day I'll have money and then I'll be happy. No, you have to be happy in order to make money. You have to be happy in order to give you 100%. To chanting also, If you feel grateful, oh, I'm so grateful, right? You chant better, right? When you're happy, you think better. Your creative problem solving skills, all of those start doing better. And when that happen, when you have beautiful relationships and being in base devotee association, we are very fortunate to have great friends, great mentors, great elder brothers, great juniors, where we have nourishing, happiness. We get nourished from all sides, which in this world is not available, to be honest with you, right? Very, very rare that people have. Acha, somebody's mic needs to be muted. Soham Shri, please mute your mic. Okay, I'll mute it for you. Thank you. So relationships are super important for you to be happy as well as for you to get things done. People know you, they do favors to you. How are relationships built? Through qualities. When you have gratitude, when you have compassion, if somebody helps you, you thank them, you appreciate them, you say good words. That builds good reputation for you, that this person is grateful. And based on that, what you're tinkering is the fundamental need of every living being, that is to love and be loved. Whether they're devotees or non-devotees, it doesn't matter. The fundamental living entity, the fundamental need of every living entity is to love and be loved. So build relationships based on your qualities of gratitude, respect, and that way you build bonds. When you have bonds, people do extra for you. They work from their heart for you to help you grow. Get a mentor. Have friends who are worth having. So here, Jim Scully is right in the middle, right? So Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Jim Scully. So association matters, we say in devotional life, same in business. If you hang out with 5 confident people, you will be the 6th. You hang out with 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th. You hang out with 5 drug addicts, broke people, you will be the 6th. So who you associate with is who you become. So surround yourself, the relationships, with people who look like your future, the people you want to be like. Get those kinds of friends, those kinds of mentors, those kinds of relations in place. By their association, you will also grow. Lean startup methodology. Building. So when you come to the product part now, we talked about problem, we talked about solution, we talked about team efficiency and all that, right? Money. Now we're coming to the viable product, minimum viable product. Don't try to build Taj Mahal from day one. Build one room, rent it out. With that money, rent another room, another room, another room. Then you can build the lawn, then the fountains, then the golden gate and all that, right? So start small, right? That's minimum viable product. Don't try to build Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp all in one. Build something very simple, something that you can do. If that's successful, that's your MBA. You just learned how to manage money, how to build a product, how to build a business. Now do something more complex, more complex, more complex. That's how we do things, right? First, market research. Find out who are you selling to? How much can they pay? What is their problem? What do they address? Same thing, by the way, is done for preaching. When I speak at a college program, I ask Prabhuji, right, who are these people I'm talking to? He said all 99% are devotees, 16 rounders, 95%. So I'm speaking in a certain way because I know who you are now. So market research is important for knowing who you're selling to business-wise. Even Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, as he's on the chariot, Arjuna says, Sena take the ratha in the middle of the 2 armies so I can see who I'm fighting with. Market research, right? He wants to see who he's fighting with, and then he gets scared. Oh my God, these are Bharatis. I can't fight with them. Point is, we should know who we are against. Then translating that market research to product or service offering. I'll give an example. So Ambarish Prabhu's great-grandfather, Henry Ford, what did he do? He asked people, what kind of vehicles do you want? That time they used to have horse-driven vehicles. They said, instead of 4-horse buggy, we want 6-horse buggy. He translated that market research into product design. He understood they want speed and they want power. That's how the word horsepower comes in, right? Speed and power. So he created cars at the price of horse buggies by automating the conveyor belt system, factory automation system. And thereby, he was able to get cheap cars out there that had speed and power. And it costed like buggies, horse buggies. So today we have traffic jam thanks to Henry Ford. But you get the point, right? Taking the market research and translating the market research into product design. And thereby you're able to build something that people are willing to pay for. I'll give another example. The time Steve Jobs came back to Apple and started iPod, maybe many of you don't remember. But at that same time, there were many MP3 players, Zune players, same thing. They play music with a headphone to your ears, right? What did Steve Jobs do? He did market research and he found out people are stealing music. They're downloading music illegally. That means they don't want to pay for a whole CD. They don't want to pay for a whole cassette. They want one song. So first he created iTunes, 99 cents per song. You can download one song at a time and pay only for that song, not the whole CD. Great. Once he got that done, then he came up with the iPod, where you can get those songs into the iPod. What did he call it? 1,000 songs in your pocket. What were others saying? 250 MB, 500 MB. At that time, people didn't understand what MB and KB and GB meant. What does Steve Jobs say? 1,000 songs in your pocket. 1,000 songs in my pocket. Wow. But then how do you market it if it's in your pocket? He said white headphones. When everybody had black headphones, iPod had white headphones. So from your pocket, iPod is hiding. But then white headphones coming out, everybody knows you're using an iPod. So you're on the bus, you're on the train, you're on the road. People are like, iPod, 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 iPod. Okay. Apple came to our college and gave us yellow t-shirts with the iPod thing on it. And it said, we will come this week sometime. If we find you wearing a t-shirt, we'll give you an iPod for free. The entire college was yellow that whole week. Everybody was wearing Apple t-shirts. Yellow. I still have the t-shirt. Yellow t-shirt with the iPod on it. Entire college was yellow. Everybody wanted iPod. So this is called marketing, right? So it's important we understand how to translate market research to product. The customers don't know what they want. It's your job as an entrepreneur to translate it. Henry Ford was told they want horse buggies. Henry Ford was able to understand they want power and speed at the price of a horse buggy. So translating market research to product is your job as an entrepreneur. Prioritize minimum viable features. Prioritize meaning don't build everything for everyone. Build something for someone. Very less. Create prototype. Sketch a PowerPoint, 3D printout, so that you know and others in your team know what you're building. Get feedback. With this, you answer these questions. Who is my customer? What product do they actually want? How do you build a sustainable business around it? And based on that, you're able to build a business in a scientific way, rather than expecting, I like it, the whole world would like it. Nope, that's not true. That's how businesses fail. When you think what you like, the world would like. It's almost never like that. You have to be data-driven. That means try it out with the minimum viable product, get feedback from potential customers, rebuild it. You build, you test, you learn. You build, you test, you learn, and you get better. But for this to happen, you'll face a lot of rejections. And you have to get used to not knowing where you're going, anxiety, depression. All of those will happen if you forget Krishna. And this is a difficult job. You don't know. Nobody tells you where to go. You're just going in a dark alley, not knowing if there's a way out, if you're wasting your time. So you have to change the mindset. The mindset has to be, the anatomy of change. Everything will change. People will laugh at you. They'll say you're an idiot. You could have done this job, gotten 12 lakhs LPA, 25 lakhs LPA, whatever. But then here you are building a business with no money. So first thing in change is disgust, decide, desire. Disgust as in I'm done with this. I don't want to be an employee anymore. I'm done with being a servant. Servant of Krishna is okay. Servant of materialists can be a little difficult. So I'm done with this. Decide I want to change. Desire. How nice would it be if I have financial freedom, if I have a nice place and I have more freedom to do what I want in my life? Resolve. Karenge ya marenge, right? And then you create a compelling vision. Yes, this is it. this will be my life, and then I'll be happy. Now, materially speaking, that never happens, but you'll get somewhere close to your happiness, somewhere aligned with your element. And somehow this, I feel, is a better life than being, under somebody's employment. You act on that vision and you achieve small victories every day. Have a to-do list. You wake up in the morning, pay your obeisances to your Guru and Krishna, and you write down 3 things that you're going to accomplish today. Then you chant. Then you do your morning sadhana and everything. And those 3 things you have to accomplish. Just like you're chanting, this is also part of your sadhana, because this is your life. This is your livelihood. This is how you will serve your family, yourself. So please understand our dharma. If we are not brahmacharis, if we are planning for grihastha life, earning is part of our occupational duty. And that is as good as everything else that we have to do. It's not like work life is material, anything in the temple is spiritual. That's Kanishta Adhikari idea. See everything as a tool to serve Krishna, and thereby have the to-do list. As you are, chanting 15 rounds, you should also accomplish your 3 things on your to-do list. One can be add few people on LinkedIn who can be my potential partners or whatnot. It could be as simple as researching, doing market research from Nielsen and this and that, and figuring out what are the trends that are going to be in the next 3 years, what problems people will face, and what you can solve to make money. Right? Like that, every day, 3 things you accomplish towards your short-term goal, which can be just figuring out what business you want to do, a midterm goal, figuring out what solution, what product or service you want to sell, and a long-term goal, a revenue of $1 million, $10 million, $1 billion, whatever that might be, right? But slowly and surely, every day, just like our sadhana, we also have to do our to-do list, moving towards the $1 million goal. Are you all with me so far? Yes, can I
Yes,
get a thumbs up? So I know you're at
Yes.
your computer. Okay, thank you very much.
Those of you who can open your videos, please open your videos. Will be better.
Now, as you go through this exercise, you heard Prabhuji speak and you're like, okay, I'll do it today. But then tomorrow your motivation kind of goes down, right? Follow through. Compelling vision plus grit equals success. So compelling vision is, I want to have this life. Grit is every day struggling for that goal. Every day you're chanting 16 rounds to go to Goloka, right? Every day you're also getting a to-do list done so that you can have that freedom of a life where you can do your sadhana also, do your business also, and you can contribute to Srila Prabhupada's movement very nicely. So compelling vision plus grit equals success. See it every day, the vision that what kind of life you want, and every day accomplish the to-do list. This is the definition of a grit. Grit is having passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Is having stamina. It's one quality, single quality, scientifically proven to separate successful people from others. There are many intelligent people who are very average life because they just move from this to that, this to that, this to that. Their goals keep changing. They don't know what to do. But average people with grit, focus, Krishna says, right? Bahushakanandasya buddhaya vyavasayana. Vyavasatmika buddhi ekiha kurunandana. So ekiha, focused effort, focused buddhi versus bahushaka, multi-branched intelligence. So multi-branched intelligence doesn't lead to something extraordinary. It leads to average life. But focused intelligence leads to focused effort. Focused intelligence in Krishna's lotus feet gets you Krishna. Multi-branched demigod worship gets you heaven. So same way here also, grit with proper vision, proper focus, going in the right direction. $1 million goal, right? Human beings absolutely follow through who they believe they are. So how we define ourselves decide who we turn out to be, regardless of who we want to be. Please understand this very carefully. This is training the mind. Human beings absolutely follow through on who we think we are, who we believe to be who we are. If I think I'm a middle class guy, I'm poor, I'm an idiot, I'm fat, I'm ugly, We act like that, right? 1st of January, New Year's resolution. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be fit. I'm going to lose 30 kgs in 30 days. 30 days later, you still, I have a belly. Mere se nahi hoga. I won't be able to accomplish. And then we give up. And the gym membership, generally, they take 6 months money in one go. Why? They know this happens. People lose motivation. And then rest is profit, right? So why is that happening? Because the motivation is lacking. We think, mere se nahi hoga. What we think is what we accomplish. Some people die at 25, aren't buried until they're 75. What happens at 25? People get married. Then everybody else's dream become your dream, right? Your wife's dream, your parents' dream, iska dream, uska dream. And men just walk like zombies, throughout our life. We are just working for everybody else. Bail hota na? That's what we do. And we are basically ATM machines. When they need money, our wife, our kids, our parents, women, everybody treats, oh, Lakshmi. Men, ATM machine. So it's important to be selfish, have self-interest. You have a goal, pursue it. By being a devotee, anyway, I'm sure you're being a rebel. Everybody in your family is thinking, kya ho gaya, sadhu ho jayega. Right? So you're already on that path. We are the best people to be entrepreneurs because we are already on the rebellion path. Why not one more rebellion act? Right? Be your own boss. When you do that, things might not work out in your favor also. There are failures. It's not like everybody succeeds. But I'll tell you a failure story. One of my mentees in Chennai, Sujit Simon. Sujit told me, sir, I want to build a business that I want to work for Google. He told me. I said, why don't you build a business that Google wants to buy? And he became an entrepreneur with zero experience, directly from college to entrepreneur. Then in pandemic happened. He was building some products for cars, car accessories from China. He got the manufacturing done, patent done, all of these things. He launched and, Maruti was his client, Mahindra was his client, so many companies, car companies. He was doing very well. Then pandemic happened, zero. His wife is making 2 lakhs a month and he was making zero. He's like, Prabhuji, too much is too much. I can't do this anymore. Can I get a job? Can I quit? I'm like, sure, please go ahead. So he applied for a job at Mahindra. In Mahindra, that job required 11 years experience. Somehow he decided to apply for that job. When they saw his experience with his startup, the employer said, we want Sujit and Sujit only. Now, this guy has 3 years of startup experience, but they wanted him instead of an 11-year experience of a person doing something in a job. And Sujit got the job. They doubled his salary. Within 6 months, he got a promotion. And then within a year, he was on a flight with Anand Mahindra to Germany. That's how he grew. So being a startup, you actually don't have anything to lose. Even if you fail, you learn so much. You're learning about legal, compliance, money management, product development, team management. I mean, there's so much that you're learning that you are way ahead of your peers. So even failure has success. So what to speak of, you succeed as an entrepreneur? There's no question about it. So point is, you will become who you believe you are, but don't kill your dreams. I'll just give a small example from here. In my case, I have always been less intelligent than people around me. I have been less capable than people around me. And every time this happens, I just tell myself, Aham bija pradapitaha. Krishna is a seed-giving father. He's my father. So I am okay. All intelligence, all memory, all forgetfulness comes from Krishna. Okay, that's my source. And that's how I can tell myself. So rather than think of myself as foolish, unpar gawar, I think of myself, Krishna is my father. And that propels me to go forward. I might be mad, I might be crazy, but it allows me to have access to unlimited potential. Thereby, my idea is take risk. Try new things, experiment. Intelligence, Krishna will provide. Ability, Krishna will provide. Because I'm under Vaishnava guidance. I'm not doing this out of my own ego. I take guidance from my mentor, from my guru. Under the blessings, I'm moving forward. So Krishna is there on my chariot. And if Krishna is there on my chariot, no one can kill me if Krishna wants me to succeed. Right? So understand this. How you see yourself as Krishna's servant, ability coming from Krishna, that's how you will define your life. Otherwise, You will be just like anybody else. With this understanding, also understand, don't kill your dreams. Be not selfish, but care about your own self-interest, because eventually that will help everybody else. I'll end it here. If you have questions, you can ask me now. I've kept half an hour for Q&A. I think 1:30 is the time we're supposed to end, right? Vijayant from IIT Kanpur, please tell me.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, good afternoon.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhuji, actually, I was fortunate enough because of internet coming in from I think my 11th grade. So I have kind of now coming. I have that exposure to the internet that I've already developed kind of a mindset that we've been discussing. So I'm at a stage where now I need to work on the what do you call the minimal viable product actually. So yesterday also like I'm currently in first year in the computer science department at IIT Kanpur, and I'm a direct PhD student. So I just finished my bachelor's last year. So they had a pre-placement talk. So I just went in, and all of the companies and universities that were coming, so they were showcasing ki, these are our projects and this and that. So my mindset, others were asking ki, how you recruit me, and my mind is going on ki, in which company do I invest when I earn enough. So that kind of mindset somehow Lord has given.
What's your
So
question?
yes, please.
What is your question?
My question is, Pujit, like I am working in the area of robotics and AI. So the problem statement that I have found is basically even my lab mates who are seniors, so they find a lot of difficulty in finding out the data set to work on. So basically, we have all heard data is the new oil, and robotics is AI is for the next decade. And the problem statement that I have found is basically data. So people don't have access to enough data. So even when I was competing in some international competition in robotics, the first challenge initially 6 months was where do we
Okay,
get the
I'll
data
pause you.
from?
You're talking like a scientist. Okay, you're not talking like an entrepreneur.
Okay, okay.
First of all, understand this. The
Uh-huh.
data, the building things myself, these are things that scientists do, innovators do. You don't necessarily have to be the one innovating it.
Okay,
You
okay.
can get others to do the work for you. You focus on who will buy the data, who will be my customer, who's my target audience, how can I make it happen, who already has it, and how can I connect the two. Don't try to do
Mm-hmm.
everything yourself, right?
Acha.
What I'm hearing you say is a typical scientist mindset, research and
Okay.
development, not the entrepreneur mindset. Somebody already has a solution. You're identifying the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Connect the two.
Yeah, yeah.
Make money from it. Focus on the money, not the fun of
So
building things.
the market research that I have little bit done on like the tools like ChatGPT and stuff. So the thing is that there is no solution that exists in the market for that thing.
Is that a problem? First, understand that. Is it a problem? ChatGPT is already solving it. It has all the data sets people need. They're already getting things done through ChatGPT. So why do they
I
need
only,
something else? DeepSeek,
I
they're
only,
scared because of China. But ChatGPT is
yeah.
providing everything. Meta AI is providing everything. Google has it. Everybody has an AI tool with huge data sets behind. So is that really a problem? First of all, get that. If it is a problem, how big a problem is it? How many people are willing to pay for it? Is it enough
Mm-hmm.
to build a business around it? Because if it's $1 billion market, at max, if you're wildly successful, you will capture 4% of the market. So is it a big enough business? Right? So think in those terms. Then you figure out, is this the right problem statement? So don't come to the conclusion, I found the problem statement. You have to validate your problem statement is problematic or not.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's problematic to you doesn't mean it's problematic to 1 billion people.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, but this is the thing that I've found in various other labs. Even when I was recently, I went to international workshop on robotics. So there, people from Stanford and Chinese university, they were also one thing that everyone mentioned in their research work. What they faced was collection of data.
And how many people are researchers? How big is that market?
It is
Right?
going to grow now.
How many people are
Mm-hmm.
researchers? Researchers are facing a data problem.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
many
yeah.
people get PhDs in a population? Think about it.
Yeah, very few.
Ah, So it's a very small market. Is it worth solving it for such a small market? Think and then decide. Okay, Umang, Varshni.
Hare Krishna, Poo. Dhanwad Pranam,
Hare
Puji.
Krishna.
Thank you
Dhanwad.
for the seminar, Puji. Puji, I think Puji, devotees generally face problem of finding a right team member, because if
Mhm.
they team up with a devotee, those are non-ambitious, and if we team up with a materialistic, then our materialistics are grow up very, very, very fast. So finding a right team member is always a challenge faced by a devotee, Puji. So
No,
what's to do?
let's pause that for a second. You can't expect to be around devotees all the time, right? Uh, now you need to be strong that when you don't take association, you give association. When you're building a business, if you're just focusing on devotees, I tell you, devotees make the worst employees. Because Prabhuji, today is Ekadash. Prabhuji, today is this. We have festivals throughout the month. And every time, Sunday feast, Prabhuji. Oh, my mentor just called me. I have service to my Guru Maharaj. I have to take him from the airport. And you can't say no as a devotee. They make the most horrible employees. Do not, unless these devotees are sufficiently mature, they see their work as Krishna consciousness. Do not build business with devotee. It will ruin you. I'm telling you, I've hired devotees in Delhi, Krishna Govinda. And the same people who are doing Ekadashi excuse and all of that, I gave them a place to stay. There, they're doing weed, they're doing alcohol, they're having women issues, and all of that. Like, oh, as a devotee, you're asking for a holiday on Ekadashi and Janmashtami and all that. And on top of that, you're doing all this nonsense that materialistic people wouldn't even do. So don't get in this whole idea devotees mean they're from Vaikuntha. We're all struggling with our difficulties. Devotees come in all shapes and sizes. Look for skills and qualities. If a person is a non-devotee and they come in your association, think this way. You can make them into a devotee by your association, by your friendship, by your love, right? So don't have to look for a devotee to partner with. It's a wonderful, it's devotee, wonderful, but make sure they take their work seriously, right? They see their work as devotional activity. Otherwise, the same day will be in the temple most of the time, taking your salary. Eventually, you'll be like, "Bhai, kaam to kuch karta nahi hai," and he's taking 50% of my company. So, is that clear, Varshni? Umang?
Yes, Puji. Puji, just
Okay.
one
Now
more
tell me.
input, Puji. One more follow-up question, Puji, on it. Puji,
Are you a student or a professional?
Puji, I'm a faculty in IIM Calcutta, Puji.
Oh, you're in Calcutta. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Huh.
I've sent you a LinkedIn connect as well, Puji.
Okay.
So, Puji, my second question, follow-up question was, Puji, having a trust issue, Puji, because for devotees, we could trust easily. So, what traits to have or
Having a
look
trust
upon?
issue because I couldn't hear you after that.
Puji, trust issue, like, in general,
Hare
I can
Krishna.
feel like, Hare Krishna, Puji, am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Umang Prabhu, I can't hear you.
Can any other Vijay Prabhu, you can hear me, Puji? Is my audio
हाँ, you're
audible to others?
audible to us, bro. I think project का कुछ network issue होगा. Just wait.
Okay, so Puji, should I try again? Available to?
Wait. I think he
Hare
has got
Krishna. Yeah, I think so.
he has
Roji,
got
you can
disconnected.
wait for some time. Let him connect again.
हाँ. Okay, मैं प्रो आप सबको अगर हिंदी में पूछना हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. Feel free. हाँ. आप लोग क्वेश्चन भी पूछ सकते हैं और in case you can also put on the chat box in case if you don't feel so much confident to ask. Anyways, I'm going to ask from all of your behalf one main thing that if anyone wants to get into this field of entrepreneurship, then what are the prerequisites for it? How can we see for ourselves that we have, whether we will fit for this kind of profession in our life as an entrepreneur? Vedic time, by birth, one was a Vaishya, so it was like very easy to figure out. But nowadays, difficult to figure out mainly. So this is one thing I was thinking to ask, from one question to Roji once he
Puri,
connects.
you only asked this question, huh? You have asked my question.
Sorry,
And
shall
Puri,
I-
this was my question, Puri. On top of it, Puri, we are trained like to be a job seeker, Puri. तो हम बचपन से जॉब 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 करके हम सीख करके बड़े हुए हैं और एकदम से बोल रहे हैं बिजनेस करो तो क्या गेयर शिफ्ट करें कि हम बिजनेसमैन बन जाए तो प्लीज इसको भी इंक्लूड कर दीजिएगा क्वेश्चन में
बचपन से ही हमको बोला गया जॉब करो, बचपन से जॉब करने की सोच रहे हैं, और अभी लेकिन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में सोचने अगर आना चाहते हैं तो ये माइंडसेट कैसे
हाँ तो
चेंज
क्या
करें?
हाँ क्या चेंज करूँ दिस इज आल्सो इंक्लूड इसको इंक्लूड कर दीजिएगा
ठीक है, चलेगा। एक बार लेट प्रोजी कनेक्ट। वैसे आप लोग को थोड़ा एक अच्छा फेयर आइडिया लगा ना? प्रोजी इज बैक।
I'm very sorry. I had some internet issues.
हाँ,
I was talking to Umang Varshni.
Puri, Kushal Govind will ask no question, Puri. He has
Puji,
put my question.
Puji, I just shared with the devotees that one question of common interest could be that, like, the earlier times, one was born as a Vaishya, one can easily figure out that, I'm a Vaishya, I can get into this field. But now for most of these devotees, how can they see for themselves that whether taking to this kind of profession of entrepreneur, like how, whether they're fit for that or not, like what are the prerequisites for this kind of field? Can you just throw some light about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So first of all, it's a motor passion profession, right? So if you are a highly enthusiastic devotee who gets things done, solves problems, jugaru type, right? Loves to lead, have the special leadership skill, communication skill, then definitely you will enjoy at least trying it out. Success or not, we can't guarantee. But the attitude of an entrepreneur is not that ठीक है, चल रहा है, chilled out, not like that. It's the attitude of getting things done. It's a mode of passion attitude, right? It's enthusiastic attitude. The ability to take risk and to make sure that when difficulties happen, you're able to sustain yourself, go through. So it's not for everyone, it's for the 1%. And the 1% are people who have very strong mental ability, mental strength of being rejected, being insulted, but you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. If you have that, definitely this is the right place for you. More importantly, once you have assessed yourself, you get Vaishnava guidance. Talk to your counselor, your mentor, your guru, and they are Krishna's representative in your life. So tell them to give you an analysis of their version of your psychophysical nature. If it adds up together, and you ask them, do you feel I'm the right person to build a business? And accordingly, you can take the Vaishnava guidance and move forward with it, or not, as the guidance is. But the guidance is our blessing. So if Krishna is on the journey, that's because Vaishnavas have blessed us. Does that answer the question, Kushal Prabhu?
Yes, Puji, I think very much. Right. Anyone want to ask something more about this? One devotee was telling, of course, Umang was telling that, like in our kind of scenario, right from the childhood, we are more brought up in a manner to get employed, get a job, and now to suddenly change mindset to becoming an entrepreneur. So it's like how to switch to this mode.
Even in our own job, sometimes we are acting like entrepreneurs, where we are given a project with no idea what we have to do, and we figure things out. So when we are figuring it out for somebody else, they are making money. We are getting a salary. When we are figuring it out for ourselves, and if we can get 5 people to even buy it, that's money that for me, right? There's 5 clients that I get to keep the money. And then Nirmala Sitharaman takes a little part of it. But still, you get the point. She's the finance minister. Nobody's smiling. I cracked a joke. Taxes. So point is, you are anyway doing a lot of jugaru activities for your current company, for whatever you're doing. And if you do that for yourself, do that for a few, it's a small target market, you are an entrepreneur. So the mindset is nothing new. You're anyway doing it. It's just the risk is there is no company, giving you protection. You're on your own. And that's where mentors come in. Kushal Govind Prabhu is there, and I'm sure there are people in UP devotees who can support you. I'm always there if I can be of any service to all of you. I'm just one Instagram message away.
Prabhuji, one more thing maybe you can talk about that is like how much is the need of financial backing? Somebody wants to get into this field, then like how much is the need of financial backing, in case
It depends what you're building. If you're building a Tesla, car manufacturing, yes, you need minimum 100 crores to build that company. But if you look at Elon Musk, he didn't start with Tesla. He started with PayPal. Before that, he was selling a video game. So it's a step-by-step, ladder-by-ladder, phase-by-phase process. You start a small business, make some money, learn how to manage money, people, compliance, and all that. Then you build a bigger business, a bigger business. So the first step, the first business should be something very simple, digital, virtual, so that there is no need for money. And through the process, like I said, business to business, LinkedIn, business to consumer, Facebook, Instagram. And by going through that process, you learn. You don't make a lot of money, but you at least learn how to build a business. Now you can go into something more complex. And the first stage, you don't need any money. The second stage, when you need money, you've already proven to be successful. So with that history, people are willing to trust you with their money. What have you accomplished? You can say something. I was hiring a software engineer in US, and my budget was $80,000, right? So it was a interview thing, one after another. Client, not clients, what do you call it? Employees, job seekers were coming. One guy came to me and he showed me, rather than giving me resume, he showed me his phone. He said, "Sir, I have created these two apps. This one has 50,000 downloads. This one has 75,000 downloads with 4.5-star reviews. This is on the Play Store. And this is my name." Couldn't be a better resume than that, right? I looked at it. I said, $120,000. You're not going anywhere. You're going to stay with me and work with my company. For 80,000, I went to $120,000, and I hired that guy. Why? Because proven skill set. Same way, first business, no money required. This is the time to prove your skill set, make some money, be a little successful, get your MBA through doing this business, in the process of doing the business. Once you know how it's done, then next one, people will be standing with a checkbook for you because you've proven to be successful.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Any other question, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, for
Krishna.
example, if I have a business and there is I have not developed any product yet, I'm planning to do that. I have idea, and I'm looking for the funding. So because I have not done anything yet, so how to calculate the valuation of the company so
You
that
will not
when
get
I
funded. You will not get funded. This was 2016, 2015. People could get funded on idea. Right now, on an idea, you can't get funded. On a project plan, you can get funded by the government, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, from 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs, you can get funded. You can get funded from Atal Incubation Center, but then you have to have a prototype. You have to be in a prototyping phase, not just idea phase. So without doing anything, if you want funding, that means you're not an entrepreneur. You're thinking like an employee, right? Employees, for everything, they get salary. For entrepreneur, we figure out jugaru way. Without money, how can we achieve something? So first build something, then get in the zone of getting funded, where you're not coming with a begging bowl, where you are saying, this is what I did with my resources. With your resources, I can do better, right? So it's a partnership. When I take equity in your company, it's a partnership. So don't approach investors without anything substantial. Government is there. You can get government funding at idea stage.
Prabhuji, currently I'm getting funding from DST up to 5 lakhs rupees. And after that, I'm planning to extend it more. 5 lakhs I'm getting for the product development. And after that, what are the other platforms to get a higher valuation, more money?
But why are you doing this? This is the stupid part. You're going after money rather than building a product and get customers money. Your product development should be a minimum viable product where with 5 lakhs, you can launch it and start making money. I
Yes,
mean, you
Prabhu.
can get constantly, serious funding from government because you're from a good college and you're building something, but then you will not be successful as an entrepreneur. I can guarantee you that. Most of government money that goes into that kind of thing, government has also become intelligent now. I am on the board of Startup India Awards. So when we get fund these companies, I get to hear the story. You don't just keep building your product. You actually get to market quickly and make money from the customer rather than asking, where can I get government funding? Since you asked, like I said, you're getting funded by DST. Every ministry has funds. Whatever your target market is, look at what ministry it falls under. There will be some funds somewhere. And like I said, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana is for everyone. 6 lakh people have already gotten funded just with the idea. So that's also 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs. There's Atal Incubation Center, Atal Tinkering Lab, and all these other resources that are there. But don't be a product developer, be an entrepreneur, right? Product developer means keep building products, keep adding features, keep adding features. One day it'll be perfect. It'll never be perfect. Go out with the imperfect product, be Jugaru, 5 people buys your product, that's validation. Okay, there's a question that is sent anonymously to me. He's a student at Kanpur. Prabhuji, actually I have idea and found that actually in our ISKCON, we are preaching in off-mode connections with people. I have an idea to build a platform which mainly targets on mental health, like people are having different struggles in their life. Like I won't be targeting those who are mentally ill or biological level, but on those who are having bad past conditioning, some sort of bad habits, or it can be anything in the subtle level, psychology. Basically, you want to preach to them, and yeah, absolutely, that's a wonderful thing. I have done that myself, and even ISKCON Juhu, the devotees were asking me, if we have this small 200 square feet space, should we start another gift store, or how can we monetize the space? I said, have a devotee, a brahmachari sit there, answer questions, and just counsel them. You'll make devotees and you can earn money also in the process, because people are paying for lifestyle coach, people are paying for career coach, people are paying for just counseling in general. Who can do it better than devotees? So certainly you can do that in a very simple way, but there are too many of those out there now also. Understand that. So if you don't have the right credentials, people won't come to you. Okay, next question.
Anyone else, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Guruji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Abhishek, Prabhu, please tell.
Yes, Prabhuji, so basically I'm working from 2.5 years in a corporate job, and before doing corporate job also, I was having
Please
ideas
continue.
which and some ideas I have tried to work on, but somehow or other at the time of COVID that was unable to run. But now since I have been working in a job and I know what are the drawbacks of job, and like how we are all being exploited over here. So
I'm sorry, Prabhu, I can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, I'm audible to you, Prabhuji.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes, yes. So, Prabhuji, the basically the main question is that meanwhile multiple ideas are coming in mind that this could be made a
Go for the
business,
low
and
hanging fruit. Go for the low hanging fruit. That means go for the idea that will get you from zero to revenue in the fastest amount of time. Generally, when I build a business, I think how I can go from zero to revenue in 30 days, right? Because my ego will say it's a great idea. But public, if people are buying my product, then only I know validation, it's a good business. So if you have multiple ideas, go for the idea that's the low hanging fruit that can easiest to go from zero to money. And the other ideas can hang on top, and somehow you can use the intelligence to adjoin them as you go along. But for now, go for what makes you money. Once you have money, it's a motivation to do more and more and more. Without money, you'll just keep struggling and ask for funding and ask for this and that. But when customers validate you that, yes, we are willing to pay money to buy a product, there's nothing more pleasurable in the material world.
Okay, so Pruji, in low hanging fruits also there are multiple low hanging fruits. How to identify that which idea I can give my time, because while working, I know that I have
Your
to invest
skill,
time over there as well.
write down on a piece of paper your skills, your top 2-3 skills on one side of the column. The other side of the column, your 2 to 3 things you're passionate about. Okay. So the passion is the market. So if you're passionate about sports, you're passionate about cooking, passionate about fashion, right? That's the market.
Right.
I
Right, Pruji.
identify a problem. Is this problem aligning with my passion? And do I have certain skills to somehow solve this problem? The skills you don't have, you resource yourself by hiring or getting a team together. The problem should align with your passion, that you feel the pain of the market. Thereby, you're motivated to solve the pain with the skills that you have and the skills of your teammates. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Pruji.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else, Prabhu?
There is a question. Does one need to learn theoretical knowledge from MBA-like courses before starting startup, or just the passion and interest? You need to know skills. Whether you learn the skills from MBA or by doing it yourself or doing an ISKCON project. Today I'm a faculty of marketing for a lot of IIMs and US universities, marketing and entrepreneurship. I learned marketing by preaching in college. I would design the flyers for my college programs. Then when Facebook came in with monetization, I started doing Facebook ads to invite students to our college programs. That's how I learned marketing. So you can learn it by doing, or you can learn it by going to an MBA college, but don't go to the shitty MBA colleges, because then you'll waste money and learn nothing. If you are getting into one of the IIMs, if you're getting into one of the top-notch private MBA colleges in ISBs or whatnot, then it's worth it. Otherwise, you'll learn nothing. And honestly, what they teach in 2 years in a business, you can learn in 6 months. So it's not mandatory that you have to go to MBA and things like that. Himanshu Prabhu is saying, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a passion to teach, but I'm getting the suggestions by some of the people that there is very big competition. It's very rare to get success. Prabhuji, what do you think? What do you care? Just go on YouTube and start your channel and teach whatever you want to teach. See what happens. If people like it, they'll like it. If they don't like it, cool, no problem. Move on. Get something else to do. But why not try it just because people are saying this competition? Competition is everywhere. It doesn't matter. Do it if you want. If you think you're gifted, do it. When my mentor told me to teach, I was like, I'm the last person who can teach. People need PhDs to teach. But then today I teach. I love teaching. I am at so many IITs, so many faculty. I love sharing knowledge, and that's who I've become. So don't underestimate yourself. You're much more intelligent than I am. Go out there, make yourself available. Whoever wants to learn, you teach them, and see if there is an impact on that person or persons, and then you'll know for yourself if you're really good or not. Competition is everywhere, but we live in a planet where there are 7.5 billion people, so no problem. What is good for ourselves as right now? I am doing e-commerce, selling luxury and inferior or interior products, business after completing my master's in finance. Prabhuji, please guide us sometime. I am confused that doing this not made me materialistic. So what? I mean, you're pretending to be a pure devotee? We're all materialists here, except for, please tell me if you're a pure devotee. So there's nothing wrong in being materialistic. The materialistic part is where we think Maya is stronger than Krishna. That's a problem. Krishna is your father, and you're in the material world with a material body. You have to deal with matter. You spiritualize that by using it in service to Krishna. Your house is Krishna's temple. The food you eat is Krishna Prasadam. The clothes you wear, gift from Krishna, right? So learn to Krishna is whatever the fruits you're getting. But don't just shove things off saying, oh, it's making me materialistic. Then what's the point of chanting if you can't deal with Maya, right? Hare Krishna Prabhuji, how to deal with devotees who don't encourage entrepreneurship and we focused on my service to Krishna and not feel inferior. No, you feel inferior, no problem. I have been made to feel that way also. Oh, he's a materialist. But so what? That's your ego speaking. You are a fallen soul. I am a fallen soul. We are all fallen souls. Lord Nityananda loves us. Our Guru Maharaj loves us. Our mentor loves us. Why do we need more validation than that? There is unconditional love that we have access to from Srila Prabhupada, from Lord Nityananda, from Lord Chaitanya, from the disciplic succession. That's all we need. That's all you need to look for. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry devotee comes to you and says, "Oh, Prabhuji, you're such a materialist." You will see tomorrow he is not a devotee and you're still chanting 15 rounds. That's how it works. So don't fall prey to validation. Don't let anyone validate you other than your mentor, your guru, and the disciplic succession. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful learnings. I always face my mind conflict whenever I try to do things before coming to devotee association. My mindset was to do business and a lot of passion. Now I desire also to fulfill my dreams. I'm always facing problem. Before Krishna consciousness, I had only one responsibility to fulfill my dream and mission. Now I think I could not manage. Also, sometime I'm hearing philosophy, avoid all things, simple life. Simple life is not for people like us. So not everything that you hear in your lectures apply to us, right? In the Ishopanishad, if you read it, there is a ration system that Krishna provides. A ration for a king is far more than a ration for a Brahmana. Now, if you are a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, there are certain things you need. For a Brahmana, they can live very simply, in a mud hut, live a simple life and be like Sudama and be very happy. There is room for Sudamas of the world. There is room for Purnarika Vidyanidhis of the world, right? And there is room for anywhere in between. We're all bouquet of flowers in Krishna's entourage, right? Krishna likes rose also. Krishna likes genda full also. Krishna likes all kinds of flowers. So not everybody has to be in that box. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, humble obeisance. Humble obeisance to you too. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pam Ho, thank you for the wonderful session. Talked about seeing work as Krishna consciousness, how you see work as Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is the ability in man. Krishna is the one who provides us with the intelligence. Everything that we have, matta smriti jnana apohanam cha, right? So everything is coming from Krishna. We're using that to add value in people's lives. People pay us. That money belongs to Krishna. We use that money to serve Krishna. We use the excess money, we use for ourselves, for our maintenance, for our temples, for everything else. So when you are doing a fire sacrifice, the person the Pandit who's doing Swaha is also doing devotional service. The devotees around sitting who are throwing the things in the fire is also doing devotional service. The person who went to buy the wood and the bricks to make the fire, sacrifice arena is also doing devotional service. The person who's decorating with fruits is also doing devotional service, right? The person who's donating the money to buy the firewood is also doing devotional service. The person who's driving the car to bring the firewood is also doing devotional service. So how can you not see your work as devotional service? When you're offering orange juice to Krishna, the person who's plucking the orange, the tree that's making the orange, the person who's driving the car, one who's juicing the orange, one who's serving the orange, all those people are getting benefited in just giving one glass of orange juice to Krishna. They don't know, you're fortunate, you're serving Krishna. Clear? Okay, Prabhuji, I like your session so much. How's the difficult journey? You keep Krishna at the center. Which things stick you sheltered to Krishna? Even the entrepreneurship take much consciousness. So what we not get disturbed by this nature of material. See, like I said, Draupadi mode. Entrepreneurship is difficult, and that's why Krishna help. And that's what keeps us Krishna conscious. I'll end with this Srila Prabhupada story. Prabhupada gave a whole morning lecture that pure devotees never fall down. And then in the evening, one devotee sees Srila Prabhupada standing in front of Radha and Krishna and praying and crying tears in his eyes. The devotee waited. Then Srila Prabhupada turned and he said, Prabhupada, what were you praying? You were very intensely praying. Prabhupada said, I was praying that I don't fall down. And the devotee was perplexed. He's like, Prabhupada, you said that pure devotees never fall down. He said, yes, that's why. Because pure devotees are always praying to Krishna, my dear Krishna, may I never fall down. So the whole point is act in Krishna consciousness. Arjun was throwing arrows in Krishna consciousness. He was killing for Krishna. You're earning for Krishna. Somebody's saving lives for Krishna. Somebody's doing management for Krishna. We're all working for Krishna. He's the boss. We're earning whatever ability we have, it's all given by him. When you understand it, it's all devotional activity. It's all devotional process, unless we're breaking any of the regulative principles or we are going against Vaishnava guidance. I'll end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are very, very thankful to you, Prabhuji, for so wonderfully telling about all the aspects of this field, for which we are very, very new, along with your intense Krishna consciousness and also through many of your interesting own personal experiences. And I'm very sure that all of our devotees would have got a very, very fair idea about this field now. So, Prabhuji, just wanted to know, let us say in case some of them want to connect with you to ask for what is the way to connect with you, let us say for
You have
guidance.
Sarvano's number?
I have his number.
Yeah, you can share his number. Sarvano knows my schedule. He will schedule Zoom calls with them if they want guidance from me.
Also, Puji,
If
like
they have a one-line question, they can just ask me on Instagram. Instagram
Okay.
is Avelo Roy. If you find anywhere you want to find me, just search Avelo Roy, you'll find me. I'm the
Okay.
only person with that name.
Okay, Puji, fine. And also, Puji, like, do you have some courses, where you tell more about all these details to if they are interested to know about it?
I have an incubation program at Kolkata Ventures. So it's not a course, it's one-on-one guidance, one-on-one mentorship through a process of 3 months, 4 months, where on a weekly basis, we guide them through.
Okay, so I will put the number of Sarvano Prabhu on
Yes.
the chat box. All of you can access that. And lastly, Puji, we have recorded this meeting. The idea was that so that we can use it as a resource later on also. So is it okay if we put it on our YouTube? We have our NGO YouTube. Can we put it there?
Yes, I'd set the link to me so I can share it with people who might want a devotional version to 0 to Million.
Sure, very sure. So let us thank Prabhuji for this, for taking out so much of his time and answering so many of the things in a very, very Krishna conscious manner also, indeed relating many of the things with Krishna consciousness, like prioritizing Krishna and, Draupadi mode, so many wonderful things. So it was very, very nice to hear. Very much practical in our own life also, even as a brahmachari. Many nice vital principles I got to learn. And having good companions, not having suffering alone, etc. So let us thank Puji by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Puji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm putting the number in the chat box. All of you can see this if you want. Sabani Pupu is a secretary to Puji. He's the one who helped us to organize this. That is 90 735 33. Okay, this is the number, Prabhu. Huh? This is the number, and we will put this recording on our Evolve YouTube channel. Okay, we'll try to share on the groups the link. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki
Jai.
jai.